Hello, Colts Nation. What's up, No Horsing family? Welcome back to another episode of the No Horsing Around podcast. As always, I am one of two dudes talking Colts, one of your hosts, Stephen Burton. And on today's episode, one big question. But before we get to that big question, as always, you guys, please like, share, subscribe, comment. The comments are always insane. We love the participation that we get from you guys. We love hearing from you guys. Keep it up. Me and Zach have always said since we started this show that we're never going to be a show that talked at you. We wanted to talk with you. So keep it up. We love talking with you. Make sure that you're subscribed. If you're subscribed, thank you. We're just kind of trucking along. We're close to 1.2. If we're not there yet, we're right there. Kind of going for 1.3. We're just kind of keep moving, and that's to you guys. Make sure you're dinging the bell. It's the off season. Crazy things happen. We don't want you to miss anything. Okay. So, like I said, one big question is on everybody's mind. Maybe not everybody, but let's kind of backtrack for a second. This past Monday, Colts finalized the trade, pull in a massive upgrade, in quarterback Matt Ryan. But then the question kind of rolls to, where are his weapons? We have a Jonathan Taylor. We have a Naheem Hines. We have Michael Pittman Jr. And that's kind of it. That's where it ends. When you look at the receiver room right now, you have Michael Pittman Jr., who is trying to develop fully into a number one receiver. But then behind him, you have a lot of question marks. Zach Pascal, he's gone. So now you have a Paris Campbell who, and I love Paris Campbell. Y'all know that. For those who watch this show, know that I picked him as my breakout player. Even when he came back at the tail end of the season, I was like, this is like trading for a player. I love Paris, but he's not been able to stay healthy, so I'm not sure with him. Then you have a Desmond Patman and a Michael Strawn and an Ashton Doolin. Very unproven, very young. Tight end room, Kylan Granson, who could take a huge jump, and Mo Alley, Big Mo, who I love. For those who've watched this long enough, know I say he has clown hands, like just big hands. But he's unproven. So the question with it is, where do the weapons come from? A lot of people are looking at the draft for wide receiver and tight end because there's not a lot there, but there's still some talent out there, which we're going to cover. But one of the big questions is always going to be, should the Colts re-sign TY Hilton, right? Should TY come back to Indy? So TY is officially a free agent at this point. He got interviewed by NFL Network. He said, essentially, if the Colts want him, they know where to find him. Go ahead and come get him. But I don't know where they sit with it. That's the thing. So last year, it's well documented, free agent coming in, and they kind of sat there for a little bit. Looked like he was going to Baltimore, and at the last second, changed his mind, came back to Indy. I think some of the underlining story was Ballard kind of had his line in the sand. This is what we're going to pay. When push came to shove, Irsay made a phone call, and TY was back. Does that happen again? That's what I want to know. I don't know. We're very devoid of weapons. When TY is on, TY is on. He can still run extremely precise routes. He still can take the top off the defense. Sometimes not like in the younger years, but he can do that. All these things are when healthy. And that's a big issue, you guys. Over the last couple of years, this year he only played 9 games. Okay, last year was 15. The year before was 10. 500 yards in 2019, 762 really came on at the tail end of the year. In 2020 and this past year, 331 yards. He's trending downwards is the scarier thing. He's trending downwards. But the question is, what you lack on the field, does he make up for in leadership? And last year, was it just him or was it Carson? He missed a lot of games, but when he got on the field, they didn't seem to get on the same page. It's very well documented, the overthrow that Carson had. And I believe the Raiders game near the tail end of the year where he missed him in stride would have been a touchdown. Does Matt hit that? Probably. But what you lack in that, he is Mr. Colt. He is, through and through. He's a Ring of Honor guy at this point. But do you pay him on what he's done than what you think, as opposed to what you think he can do? There's a lot of talent. There's still some talent out there at the wide receiver position. Does he match up well with that? That's what I don't know. My gut says that I don't think he comes back. I don't think that his production is going to warrant what someone's going to pay for him. Pat McAfee put out over the week that there looked to be some interest from the Cowboys. The Ravens might have interest again this year. I don't think the Colts are going to get a bidding war to keep TY. And yes, would it be so cool? He's about 318, 308 yards shy, somewhere around there, of passing 10,000 career yards. That would make him one of 3 Colts all time to have 10,000 yards for the Colts, which would also make the Colts the only team in NFL history to have 3 receivers, all of which had 10,000 yards in their career with one team. But those are all like career achievement things. Like I said, my gut feeling is that I don't think that they bring him back. I just think that they're going to look at a Julio or a Jarvis. I think they were in on MVS, but that got a little bit higher once Tyreek Hill left the Chiefs. I don't know, and I think he's going to be able to get bigger money elsewhere. If you're asking me, do you bring TY Hilton back? My answer is no. I think you look to fill the void somewhere else. I don't think his production has matched up the best. And when I read his stats, it's been a slower decline. He's been less healthy over the last several years. I mean, even the year that he had in 2019, where he had 501 yards in 10 games, he was nagging injuries. 14 games the year before that, 10, in 2019, 15, but very nagging injuries. He's not, I don't want to say he's not who he used to be. And the question is, do we as Colts Nation and as the No Horsing family, are we okay with this? Last year, I think people were split, and then we had the hashtag Bring TY Home that was trending, top on Twitter, which ended up on the news in Indy, we ended up hearing that TY actually heard that. I'm not seeing as much of that this year. We have to make a step. We have to get weapons. I don't think TY's in the future, but I want to hear from you guys. Am I dead wrong? I mean, this is side of the stadium kind of guy. This is Ring of Honor. This is blue sports coat in a few years when he retires. Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong. Drop it in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. You know, and we love to be told, if you think we're wrong, then tell me, okay? But I want to hear from you guys. So, I end these things the same way I always do, but I'm going to give a special shout out. Okay. Before we do it, I want to give a special shout out to my boy, Zach. Okay. Zach's out of pocket right now because he's got his toes in the sand, probably a drink in his hand. He's in an undisclosed location and he's enjoying a much needed vacation. He's going to be back next week. We miss him. I know you guys miss him. And I know he's sending that love from wherever he is. But in the end, I love you. Like I said, I know he's sending love from his vacation. I'll talk to y'all later.